Boom.
Boom! Hang out is on there live.
Awesome. Finally. Sorry we are late for the one person who might be listening to us out there. I was having technical issues again. This is a weekly thing, but fortunately for you, you don't have to deal with it.
You just might deal with it being a few minutes late. So, NinjaFox Games and Geekery is back on air again. So, I'm Jeff. I'm here with Brian, even though his screen always says Thomas Servo, just because he likes being a robot.
It's true. It makes life so much easier. No pesky emotions to get in the way of things.
What are you talking about? Servo was full of emotion.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He was a broiling hot pot of emotion.
That's true. But people think it's funnier when you say mean things to them if you look like Tom Servo.
That's true. No one gets mad. You can't stay mad at Servo. Look at him.
Oh, just look at me.
Just look at that picture there and think, oh, I can't get mad at a bubblegum machine.
That's right. Everybody loves candy. Well, except for diabetics.
Oh. I think they still love candy. They just can't have it.
Can't have it so much.
Yeah.
Well, they can. They just have to take shots.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Insulin, not. Anyway. I mean, I guess they could take those shots too, but I'm not sure how that would really help the matter.
Wow. That's how we're starting this today?
That's exactly how we're starting this today. After all the nightmare that I've had trying to get it to where we could actually do this, then right. We're going to go after the diabetics.
Yeah, so I've got this. We're going to be talking about Star Wars, Batman versus Superman, Fantastic Four, probably going to some X-Men. And here you go, straight off attacking diabetics.
Well, I mean, it's not my fault that their pancreas sucks.
Now you're attacking their pancreas. Jeez.
I mean, really, isn't that where the whole problem starts? Anyway, I'm going to add one thing to the list that you may not have seen, but I'll be more than happy to talk about it, and that's Other Space, the new series on Yahoo's screen.
Okay, you mentioned that last time. I just was not aware of it, and still not really aware of it because I've not been looking into it. And so yeah, you can definitely go on with that.
You should have been.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was doing things like playing video games and watching things on TV and whatnot.
I mean, it's kind of TV. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. I'm having trouble. Do what?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why it should be set up with chat to actually be functioning on here, but I don't know. Live chat's not showing up on the YouTube page.
Oh, for like people to talk to us?
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out how to get it set up and actually working, but even though I have it turned on, it's not popping up. So I'll have to go in and play with that and figure out what I've done wrong.
Who knows? It's just nothing. We'll just call it this episode 3 technical issues. It's just one thing after another tonight.
The day nothing worked.
Yes. So go ahead. Go with some of your stuff. I've only got really the one thing. So
so basically, no, there's just a ton of comic book movie stuff going on and movie things in general this week. So I guess we'll just
for those.
Kind of go in order. So have you watched any more of Daredevil on Netflix?
I got up to episode 3, but that's as far as I've made it because I got distracted by Other Space. So yeah, that and working 11-hour shifts. Really, that's all I have time for. I would watch like one episode or 1 or 2 episodes of Other Space, which are like 20-something minutes each, and then I would pass out basically.
Fair enough.
But 3 episodes is 3 more than I had last week when we spoke. So
yeah, there you go.
It's good. It's like I said to you previously, and I can't remember if it was a text message or a Facebook message or one of the two. They needed to add more funding for the lights. Having a lot of trouble seeing what's going on through many of the action sequences.
I actually read an article last week about that's apparently that's very much intentional.
Yeah.
One of the things that they specifically noted was that hallway fight scene.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How each of the rooms are very well lit, but you don't actually get to see the fight in those rooms. You see the fight in the hallway where it's dark and his suit blends into the shadows better.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to see glimpses of him as he goes through. And I think, if I remember, they said those one of those rooms or both of them had a little bit of a yellow tint to the lighting, which was kind of a toss in because yellow's been a color for Daredevil in the past as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
I think I recall the scene that you're talking about. If not, then there's one I believe in an alleyway that was just nearly pitch black. I knew that there were people flailing around at each other, and there was a lot of grunting and punching or hitting sounds. But other than that,
you may need to check out your settings on your television. It was never that difficult for me to see. So
no, possibly,
maybe your TV settings are off.
possibly, or my eyeballs.
That's possible too.
I need to adjust the bulb.
Hopefully, you're not going blind watching Daredevil.
I hope not. That just brings about a lot of I don't know. I don't even want to go there.
The other news with Daredevil, which is completely well, I guess if you go blind watching Daredevil, it would be relevant to you. Marvel did actually put it out with it's now viewable for the blind.
You mean so it has like the descriptive
Yeah,
audio.
yeah, yep. And apparently that because whenever it first aired, they got some flack for it. It was like, oh, why didn't they do this? You'd think they would do it. And literally by the following Monday, they had that up, and it was announced that they had it visible, with the descriptive audio text and everything. So I thought that was kind of cool.
No,
Kind of agree. Why wouldn't you just think, hey, let's make sure that's ready to go when it airs? But a 2-day turnaround is not too bad.
well, just quick question: do they have that for most series and things on Netflix, or
I don't think so. I think that may be something that they've kind of
so
taken
then the
strides.
answer to the question would be because nobody else has it on Netflix.
Possibly.
I think. I don't know. That's something I would have to research further.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. So moving on from Daredevil, which I will tell you this, it's a spoiler that won't disappoint, or maybe it will. At the end of it, I kept watching the last episode. It's like, okay, episode's over, credits are rolling, and I'm sitting there thinking, all right, is there anything after the credits? Because Age of Ultron's coming up, or do they want to do they have anything that's a little toss in to lead into AKA Jessica Jones? Nada. There's nothing.
Okay.
No post credit stingers on the Netflix series apparently.
Nice. Reading here as of the 14th of this month, Netflix began audio description for visually impaired. So no, Netflix had not had audio description for anything before this.
So Daredevil broke ground.
Yeah, which is awesome. I'm saying
Marvel. Go Marvel. That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm just saying can't really blame Marvel for that.
Yeah, for not having it on Netflix to begin with.
Right. Also, how do you navigate that? Never mind. I'm just going for the low-hanging fruit tonight.
You're just you're really going to try and test the limits of can people get pissed off at an image of Servo?
It's true. I mean, I test it fairly frequently in real life, but tonight I'm just on this podcast that goes to more people than I see in real life. We're gonna see how many people. Is there a button on here that can show me how many face punches I've received on the internet?
No, I don't think so.
We should probably see about getting that installed.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to make it so basically, they push a button on the YouTube channel and a fist just comes out of your screen, smacks you in the face.
In the meantime, we'll be mad at YouTube for not including that.
Yeah, it's their fault. Although
it totally is, even though they've never had it before.
Yeah, but maybe we can break ground and get it put in.
I hope so. I feel like it's an important part of YouTube.
But if anyone ever does listen to this and wants to digitally and textually punch Servo Brian in the face, then at Servo1999 on Twitter.
Yep, that's me. I don't post much on Twitter. I'm still trying to figure out this tweeter.
But you could definitely, if you do understand Twitter, you can definitely get on there and send him mean tweets. Whoa, I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, I went into the YouTube
It had the audio
channel
on,
and had the audio on, but I don't. For some reason, it's playing through my main speakers, whereas I'm talking to you through a headset. That was really odd.
Yeah, I've got
technical issues abound tonight.
Mine does the same. I've got the computer sound through the speakers. I just don't have anything on. I'd play music or something, but then I'd be under copyright issues.
I think I know what happened actually, but carrying on. That's kind of cool, I guess. So anyway, Star Wars. That's a thing. There are things happening in the Star Wars universe. We got new teaser trailer, which is pretty freaking sweet. Very nice visuals, and then the ending was nice, I thought.
The first trailer, I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad they're making another Star Wars. I'll go see it when it comes out.
Right.
And then this trailer, it was like, okay, the magic's here. I'm now on board. Is it Christmas yet?
Right. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm seeing Harrison Ford looking surprisingly healthy for his age.
For his age and his 2 accidents.
Airplane crash. Do you have something else?
Yeah, he broke his ankle or fractured his leg or something on the set of Star Wars while filming.
Oh.
Some door came down on him and like busted his leg. And then he's got the plane crash, which I really think the plane crash was an elaborate stunt to say that he still wants to play Indiana Jones.
Possible. Is that do we need another one of those? I mean, maybe one to fix it. Can they retcon it like they did with X-Men Days of Future Past?
Sure.
Can they retcon the whole 4th Indiana Jones movie out of it? I think
he finds a time travel device or something.
My roommate is nodding. Yes, they can definitely do that or should do that. I can't tell which one he's agreeing to.
An ancient Egyptian time travel device, or
both, he says. Yeah, it'll work. They can figure
sure.
something out.
Sure, why not?
Just retcon Shia LaBeouf out of it completely.
Well,
out of the world, if they can do that, I'd be happy.
Not to get too far off topic of Star Wars, but I think I think there's some talk there about doing an Indiana Jones, but I think it's supposed to be like a reboot. So, because that's what Hollywood likes to do these days.
It's all Hollywood. Also, the Rebels. Not Rebels. Sorry.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. That's the one. Sorry. I mean, Rebels is the thing that's happening too.
Yeah, it's on now. I think season 2.
I believe so.
Rebels. I haven't actually watched that.
I haven't really seen a whole lot on Rogue One yet, but I am going to throw this out there. I am a little bit concerned about market oversaturation. And when they talked about that they were going to be releasing films and some other stuff that were outside of the movies, outside of the main storyline movies, I was concerned about that. But now, even more so. I mean, there is such thing as too much of a good thing, and I hope that Disney knows where to draw that line, because I'm just saying a lot of their made or straight to DVD or VHS sequels are not great and went nowhere.
Yeah. Well, the plan is to have a Star Wars movie every year. So it'll be.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like one of the good things about Star Wars is kind of the wait.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a lot of things take time to make something good. And
it's kind of weird because it's like.
Or in the case of Star Wars Episode 1, to make something bad. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
It's a long wait. It's a long wait for something bad there.
That's right.
I don't think BB-8 is going to be a new Jar Jar, though. But I don't think he's going to be a new R2 either. So that's an issue. I do like that he's a practical effect, though. That is awesome. But as far as and it's weird to me to think of, okay, we're going to do Star Wars, and we're going to have Episode 7. And then the next year, we're going to have a movie that takes place before Episode 4. And then we're going to do Episode 8. And then the next year, we're going to have like Han Solo origin young teenager film. And then we'll do Episode 9. And then we're going to do Boba Fett with the other bounty hunters when they were looking for Han in between episode 4 and 5.
Get
And
over Boba Fett already. God.
I'm just like, it's weird to me to do episodes 7, 8, 9 with stuff that takes place in the past between them. I could
Right.
almost see doing episode 7, 8, 9, and then there's going to be some other films that may explore different areas or whatever. I could almost see that making more sense, but it just seems weird to me to be jumping, current to the past to the current to the past.
Well, I mean, most of the audiences nowadays have such bad ADHD, like myself, that we won't even remember from one year to the next what happened in the last film. So it's not a big deal.
You have to hit the wiki before you go to the theater.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who is that person again? That would be Chewbacca. Oh yeah, I remember him.
That's Darth Vader. Oh, he's
That's-
pretty important, huh?
Oh yeah, he isn't. No, this is just a flashback. I thought he was the bad guy. He used to be the bad
He
guy.
was.
Are you sure?
Who's the new bad guy? That lizard man. Oh, okay. I'm totally just throwing speculation out there. If it is a lizard man, I want money, LucasArts.
You've called it.
That's right. I called it.
You spoiled it before you knew what you were spoiling.
That's right. But yeah, I am. I'm a little bit with the television series going on and all the different movies they're going to be making, and then
Well-
now they're going to have to redo the books because they completely
wiped
killed the canon on. They're no longer canon, which I don't know. I have yet to see if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It really all boils down to how the seventh film handles the after years.
Well, and already from what little we know, there's major differences. Because apparently, in the way I see it in the books, the Rebel Alliance, they got their stuff together and they got shit done. Because they actually, you've got the what was it? Dang it! Help me out. What was it called? The Rebel Alliance was replaced with the New Republic.
New Republic, yeah.
And so apparently in the new film, it's the Rebel Alliance has become the Resistance, and the Empire has become the First Order. So it's like there's still civil war going on. I'm like, guys, it's been like 50 years. What's taking so long to to kind of get things reorganized?
I'm no military strategist, but you guys seem to be really bad at your jobs.
Seem to be really moving slow on this whole thing. Well, and on top of that, it's kind of one of these, how can there be this much of a vacuum of power that you can't establish a new republic when you're under a dictatorial empire and now the emperor and his right-hand man are gone? It's not like, if anything, on the empire side, that creates a power vacuum for all these different admirals to be fighting for who's in control.
Right.
And all the planets pretty much didn't like the Empire in the first place. So you'd think the return of the Republic would be pretty smooth to transition to. So,
guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. Yeah, I agree with you though. It's odd that it's been 50 years and basically there's, I guess in that storyline, kind of like you were talking about, that vacuum of power was filled, but I don't know. It just seems like that the way the Empire runs and based on books, which again are no longer canon, it seems like that there's so much infighting within the Empire once that vacuum exists, and that would be true of any sort of, I think, dictatorial, government, like you're saying. So, who knows?
yeah, I mean, if it had been an assassin killed Palpatine, then logically Darth Vader would step up and take over the Empire.
Right.
In this case, you've got the two guys who are pretty much the shoe-ins to basically say, all right, y'all shut up and get in line.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, what?
Right.
I'm wondering what they're going to do with having a new Sith. Are they going to do it that this was kind of Darth Vader's replacement that Palpatine had kind of as the backup plan, but obviously it didn't kind of work out.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a new guy that's become a Sith somehow, or how's that all gonna pan out?
Yeah. I mean, time will tell. We could speculate until we're blue in the face. But,
Oh yeah.
But
The other thing I really am just hoping is, because again, you could say that it's enough of a new story and a new break that you go a completely new direction with it. But episodes 1 through 6 were all, to some extent, supposed to be, the audience was kind of seeing these events unfold through essentially our eyes to the story were C-3PO and R2-D2.
Right.
And now that they're bringing in a new droid, I'm kind of wondering if even R2 and 3PO are going to be minimalized in any effect, or if after Han and Luke and all them kind of fade off into the background and let the new cast take over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if R2 and 3PO will now kind of move on to going on with them.
I would say no.
R2's kind of become such a connection to Luke at this point that you almost expect that it's possible he'll kind of be, I guess, R2 will pass the torch on to BB-8 as well.
Yeah, but it's yeah, I'm definitely interested to see who takes the mantle of 3PO.
Yeah,
Because you can't really replace him.
well, yeah, and R2's the most lovable droid in the entire universe of Star Wars, and it's funny because he doesn't say anything, he doesn't make any bleeps. We have no clue what he's saying. The only reason we have any clue of his personality is because of C-3PO.
Right.
So it's the same thing with BB-8. If he's going to have personality, and from what we've seen, he's the same as R2, beeps and bloops. You've got to have someone that is basically the window that gives you his personality.
Right. Right. That's like, same thing with Chewbacca, Han,
Yeah.
or how the other actors reacted to his grunts or his roars and growls. That's how you knew what he was saying. So I get what you're saying. I'm sure they'll figure all of these things out. From what I understand, Abrams is a pretty big fan. So
Oh yeah, and the up and downside of it is, with everything being connected now. I said it right when they announced that. I was like, man, if you really want to stay and keep up with everything, if you're a big Star Wars fan, they're basically saying, okay, here's the shackle, put your foot in it. We've got to
right.
clamp that on, because if you want to follow the entire story and know everything about how everything unfolds, you can't wait until Christmas. You've got to pick up Star Wars Battlefront, because the pre-order DLC inclusion is a battle that gives you your first introduction to the planet that Episode 7 largely takes place on, that looks like Tatooine, that I'm calling the planet not Tatooine. So we're gonna have you've got to pick up that game. I'm pretty sure there's a book or two that are going to be out before that time or around that time. Essentially, we're going to hit into this point of, if you want the entire story of Star Wars, you need to now buy every comic, every book, every video game, watch every TV show, and see every movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to be tying them all into, everything is canon, everything is official now.
That sounds a lot like another company that Disney bought out not too terribly long ago. Well, actually, that's been a while back, but that sounds a lot like Marvel.
Well, not necessarily. At least with Marvel, you've got watch the TV shows, watch the movies. The TV shows, yeah, they tie in, but if you don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're not going to miss much for the movies. The movies impact S.H.I.E.L.D. more than vice versa. But
True.
you don't have to buy the video games, you don't have to buy the books, you don't have to read every comic to know what's going on in the cinematic world.
Right.
Whereas
Did they,
Star Wars will all be intertwined.
did they do the reboots yet? I don't keep up with the actual like comic books so much anymore. Has Marvel done their reboot yet?
The one that they've been planning, the big universe changing thing.
Yes.
No, that'll be in June and July, I believe. I think it's June and July for the actual event, and then August or September is whenever the new, this is the new going forward, will actually be in place.
I gotcha.
So
I was just curious, since I'm like, well, they're doing that whole reboot. They could very easily then, after they've rebooted it, make it more like what you're talking about with the Star Wars thing, and try to tie the comics more directly into the cinematic universe. I don't know how they. I know that their stance from up to now has been kind of keep them as separate things, but there's no guarantee after that they'll do that. They'll continue to do so. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Especially.
I think the guarantee that they won't is that there's too many things in the comics for them to be able to fit into the cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they're doing A-Force is probably the first #1 thing that they won't, because A-Force is it's another all-female comic book. Apparently, everyone on the team are all women,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of is weird to me because it's like a lot of these characters. It's like, okay, so they just kind of left their teams and formed an all-women's team.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know what. Of course, on the flip side, Wolverine's on like 20 teams in a month. So if he can
Right.
do it, why can't everyone else? Except now he's dead.
Oh. So
Uh,
undead?
no, just dead.
Oh. I thought they were gonna go back to the whole zombie thing again.
Well, they are. That's part of this crossover thing too. The Marvel Zombies are going to be brought into it for
Dear
part
God.
of it anyway. Which is kind of weird to me because I'm like, isn't that the whole point, that the Marvel Zombies killed everything and the entire world became zombies? So doesn't that mean that after this Secret Wars thing, there should be nothing but zombies?
Seems that way.
Should be, but anyway, A Force is basically like from my guess is just based off the cover art, She-Hulk is probably going to be the leader because she's been front and center on the images. But if you look at the back, it's a bunch of female characters from Avengers and a lot of female characters from X-Men.
Okay.
And that alone means that it can't be tied in with the cinematic universe because X-Men are off limits.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, it's just speculation on my part completely. But don't be surprised if not necessarily that, they might try to tie some of the other stuff in.
Well, and then the other thing is, it still looks like there's no particular plan right now to end a lot of the other stuff that is completely off kilter with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Falcon is still Captain America. Thor is still a woman at the moment, but Thor isn't a woman. There's two Thors. One's a woman and one's not, and the one that's not is the original Thor, but doesn't have the power of Thor because the woman Thor has the hammer. Because
My brain is starting to hurt. That's probably why I quit reading comics.
I'm not a fan of their whole, we'll make a woman Thor and it'll be progressive, and yet I'm like, you couldn't have just made a really good Lady Sif comic, because
Sure.
Sif was really awesome and she's kind of popular in the movies and kind of been on Shield, and why like Sif?
Yeah, right. And Thor is a man. That goes back for a few centuries now.
It's a little
It's
bit
not
of
just a Marvel thing.
It's a little bit of a Viking thing.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, and it's not like it's not like it's new. We've had a frog Thor and a horse alien Thor. So other people have picked up the hammer before. It's just weird in this case that they call her Thor.
Right.
And even that, I could be like, all right, cool. But at the same time, the way they did it, it's like Nick Fury got the powers of the Watcher, so he knows all these different things and secrets and all this. In the middle of a fight, he whispers something to Thor, and suddenly Thor drops the hammer and can't pick it up. He's not worthy anymore.
And suddenly Thor drops the hammer and grows boobs.
I'm like, well, no, it's someone completely different comes along and picks up the hammer. And
I figured.
I'm like, okay, wait, how is whispering something to Thor suddenly going to make him unworthy of the hammer? Because if it's something he didn't remember doing, that doesn't make him worthy. I don't care what your opinion, Kat.
He's got something to say.
He's very opinionated on Thor. He's frustrated that there are no cats represented in comic books.
It's understandable. I'm also frustrated by that exact same thing. So we're on the same
You've
page.
got Lockjaw with the Inhumans. You've got Crypto, Superman's dog. Where are the cats? There's no cats. It's not fair.
It's because they don't. It's because they don't want to leave the house.
They just want to sleep.
Yep.
48 page double-sized issue. Every page the cat is sleeping.
You know who would really, I think, enjoy a cat sidekick would be Deadpool. I think it's totally right up his alley.
Have you seen any of the CG turtles on Nickelodeon?
No. Not gonna lie.
So one of the best characters, and whenever they first showed him, I was like, what? But one of the best characters they have introduced on that series is when Michelangelo accidentally spilled mutagen on a cat with ice cream,
What?
and created Ice Cream Kitty.
What?
Ice Cream Kitty. Ice Cream
Uh,
Kitty is awesome.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me.
So
Sneezing
Star
here.
Wars comes out in December.
Right.
After we get past that, we will get into next year. We'll have Batman v Superman, which had its trailer leaked.
I saw that. Well, I think I saw the official one that's less leaked. I don't know.
Yeah, after it was leaked, Snyder basically said, "Okay, well, it's out there now. Might as well put out the real deal." And so they actually released it online.
I actually just saw that last night, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm ambivalent at best. I didn't care too terribly much for the new Superman film, Man of Steel. It was okay, but it wasn't anything really in my mind to write home about. And the way that they're portraying Batman is kind of weird.
Well,
I don't,
I had problems with Man of Steel.
yeah,
A lot of problems with Man of Steel. And most of those problems stem from character development issues.
sure.
The fact that Superman basically meets Lois Lane and then boom, they're in love.
Right.
So apparently, all it takes is for a conversation in a cemetery, and you will find true love.
That's how most of mine worked out.
So next thing will be marriage.
Marriage. I didn't feel like that as a movie. Yeah, like you said, character development. There were just issues there that I'm like, I don't really feel like that I was very emotionally invested in the film as a whole, and it probably had a lot to do with those issues that you're talking about.
Well, the last third of the movie was the problem for me, the
Mm-hmm.
biggest problem,
Yeah.
because we've had not only did I feel it didn't portray Superman very well, it didn't portray the Superman that it spent 2/3 of a film creating very
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Through all of Superman's life, we see him basically his drive is to use his powers to help people and to save
Right.
people. When the fight with the other Kryptonians starts up with Zod's his generals or whatever the his two lackeys for lack of a better word,
Mm-hmm.
the fight in Smallville, he rescues a firefighter, I think, at one point. It may not be a firefighter, but he rescues someone. He basically attacks them to get them away from his mom. So all these different things where he's still trying to save people.
Yep.
Then once he deals with them, he destroys the world generator. Then he comes back to Metropolis, destroys the other world generator, and now it's down to just him and Zod. It's just the two of them. That's all that's left.
Right.
And suddenly it becomes, I'm gonna put my blinders on and punch you, and then I'm gonna punch you again.
Right.
Oh, there's an entire skyscraper falling and people are running screaming through the streets with debris and buildings falling. I don't care. I'm going to punch you.
Say, I am way too busy punching you to help those people. They'll be all right.
There's a lot of punching coming on here.
That's right. Yeah.
So basically, like I've said multiple times on a few websites, that what I felt they really should have done for that final act, once it was just him and Zod,
Mm-hmm.
they should have had one point where he tries to lure Zod out of the city, and Zod basically realizes what's going on and just says, well, nope, I'm going to knock a building down on people.
Right.
And so that makes Superman come back. Okay, he's not going to fall for being lured away from a populated area.
Right.
So then from that point on, I felt it should have been basically a lot of scenes emphasizing that Superman tries to save people who are about to die. But if he does so, Zod starts to beat the crap out of him.
Right.
And if he fights Zod, then they should have actually showed people die. I mean, flat out, they should have seen Superman should have watched people die because he was fighting Zod.
Right.
Built up an ever-growing tension that, okay, you've got two options. You can just let people die and stop Zod,
Mm-hmm.
or you can save people and Zod will kill you. And those are your two options. That's it. That's all you've got. And it would have made that final scene of him finally saying there's no choice and having to kill Zod a bigger deal. Whereas
Right.
I felt it was kind of like, all right, well, he's going to kill 3 people in a museum. It's not like you cared about all the other people that were probably facing impending death.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was just overall not a great film, and so they're using that one, turning him into what in the trailer appears to be a god or an emperor or something of that matter. And
Oh, they've if they didn't have more Christ allegories in Man of Steel, and there were a lot. There
oh
was
yeah,
a definite Christ allegory there.
right.
There are far more. They are just going full bore with this new one that
Yep.
this is I mean, they outright talk about the devil doesn't come from below, he comes from above. They talk about us needing a savior. They talk about people have not been good following people with power, obviously making a reference of Christ and the crucifixion.
Right.
They are really pushing this up. And I know that's been a big thing for that's always been a big thing for DC is that their superheroes are indeed pretty much gods.
Right.
But man, they're
A
pushing it.
little bit heavy-handed, I agree. And and like you're saying, DC has always been kind of that their heroes were God, and Superman has been kind of a crossed figure in DC universe for
Yeah, it's
quite
a
some time.
god
But
among men sort of thing.
right, and then he dies and he comes back, and yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably watch it. I might wait for the Blu-ray. I don't know that I'll necessarily put money into a
I
ticket
will
to the theater.
I will probably go see the ticket in the theater because I want it. I want it to be good. I want to enjoy it. But my concern is if I felt that they had character development issues in Man of Steel, where really I expect you to develop Superman, Lois, and Zod,
Right.
and now you're giving me Batman, Alfred, more Superman, Lex Luthor introduced, a little bit more Lois. Batman may, in some rumors, have a girlfriend involved, so if there's an angle to that to explore, supposedly there's going to be another villain involved. Uh, that one that works for Lex Luthor. There's been some rumor that Doomsday may be in it.
Good God.
Aquaman is in it. Wonder Woman is in it. Cyborg is in it. That's like
Right.
8 characters right there.
That's like Spider-Man 3 vomited all the extra villains that they didn't include.
Yeah. Now, and maybe it's going to be Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg are going to be very small cameos, even though they're saying, "Oh, they're in it."
Right.
Maybe in actually final cut, it's really just, yeah, here's Wonder Woman as Diana
Or
in the
here
city.
they are in the Justice League dome at the very end. Bye everybody, waving.
Yeah, yeah, it could be something small. It could be a little tiny thing, and
Right.
the emphasis is going to be elsewhere. But I don't know. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Right. Honestly, I'm going to say that just uh, even when the movie was announced, I was skeptical. So they're gonna have I'm gonna be a hard sell on this one, even before trailers or hearing anything else about it. Just the concept of Batman versus Superman, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then seeing Man of Steel because I saw it after that had been had been known that that was going to be a thing. It just hasn't gone well, and now we got this new Batman. I don't know how closely he's going to be related to Christopher Nolan's. Probably not. I
None
think
at
they're
all.
trying
Yeah,
to none at all. Okay,
yeah. This is a complete break from everything that Nolan did.
I don't know.
I will say that of all the Batman that have ever been on screen, Affleck looks the best. Even
He
though
does.
we've only seen a glimpse of him in this trailer, that suit and him in that suit looks awesome.
Yeah, I agree. That was one of my favorite parts. Is just
I don't
I don't
even
know
like.
about the weird voice that they're doing
Well, I
through.
don't. I don't even care for the last scene of it where he's in the actual full armor. He's in that the Dark Knight Returns style armor to fight Superman. But the
Right.
scene before that, where it's like the shadow, and he's kind of comes out of the shadow a little bit, and you see
Yep.
maybe about half of him. Dude, he looks so awesome.
Yep.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm hoping that voice is just for the armor. I'm hoping that's like the Iron Man Batman version.
Right.
I'm hoping that's not permanent Batman's voice.
God, I hope
Even
not.
though it kind of makes sense for him to actually use as some device to hide his voice so that
Modulator.
you
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I'm like, look, guys, Kevin Conroy sounds totally different when he's Batman versus when he's Bruce Wayne.
Ooh.
Surely an actor can do this.
Right. Speaking of Kevin Conroy and Batman, the full Batman animated series is now available to view on Amazon Prime if you have a Prime account. So,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, I already own 3 of the 4 volumes on DVD, so it didn't help me much. But for those of us that don't,
I only have the first.
all right. Well, there you go. Now you got a place to watch more of it.
That's cool.
The 4th volume is actually, it was starting to kind of bump into the Batman and Robin
Yeah.
stuff more, so I never picked it up because that stuff's not bad, but it's not nearly as good as the earlier stuff in my mind.
So a friend of mine at least listened to some of the stream earlier. So that button that we were talking about, YouTube should implement.
Yes.
Should punch you in the pancreas.
Oh, okay. Well, is he diabetic?
No. He just
Okay.
thinks that because you were talking about it, that would be a just option. Punch you
Right,
in the
and
pancreas.
that makes sense. I get it. Are they still listening? Person, are you still listening? I don't know how to tell. I don't even know how to get to the YouTube thing without turning on the audio for it.
I don't. They may be. It says there's 2 people watching. I'm one of them.
Oh, I am just now in, so there was somebody other than me. I don't know if it how it lived but not. I don't understand. There's comments? We have a comment. Anyway.
So anyway, if you've got it up, just click the volume thing and mute the video. Boom.
Yeah, I just did. I just pulled it up there. So so it says there's 2 watching. I guess that doesn't include me.
I don't know. I assumed it did. The other thing that throws me on this this trailer is there's even a part where like there's soldiers kneeling before Superman.
Right.
I'm trying to. Is that
what? What is what?
So? All right, yeah, this definitely looks like they're doing some sort of weird, like the Injustice video game. Because if you zoom in on it, these soldiers on their shoulder, they've got Superman's insignia. So these 4 guys are Superman's soldiers.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Who knows? And I have to wonder if it's going to be some sort of like an alternate timeline thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what. I really don't know what they're going for. The thing I'm also wondering about is that line that Alfred's talking about, which I love that Jeremy Irons is playing Alfred.
Right.
I'm hoping that means that this Alfred is basically more of a jerk. I think Alfred, at this point, because Bruce has been Batman for a length of time, this isn't like early Batman days. This is veteran Batman. Right. So at this point, I really feel like Alfred is also a veteran in this whole thing and has reached the point where he realizes that it's his job sometimes to be a dick. And basically just, tell Bruce, you're an idiot.
Yeah. That's Alfred, definitely.
And so, because I mean, there is that he cares about him, and there's that fatherly, bond between them. Right. But at the same time, Alfred was always the one to basically be like, yeah, no, you're pretty much dead on your feet. You're staying here, and you're gonna let your 12 wounds that are stitched up and barely holding together heal before you go back out. And Bruce would listen to him for like 24 of the hours out of the 36 he needed, and then go out. But at least he listened for a little bit.
Right.
I'm looking through pictures here, and I'm trying to figure out like what all they've kind of teasingly shown us.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm assuming that the world generator thingies that Zod had, because they were active, they were pumping, they were banging into the thing and sending out pulse waves into the city or whatever. I'm assuming they were active long enough that they terraformed Earth enough that we've got kryptonite now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what, that's going to be Batman's trump, is that he does have kryptonite.
Right. Oh, I mean, yeah, it's always been kind of assumed that he did, or he has for some time, I think. But that's probably, I don't know. Didn't he beat him somehow without kryptonite one time in one of the animated shows or something? I don't even remember.
I don't remember all the details of the Dark Knight Returns of how he beat Superman. I just remember that scene of Superman looking almost like he's decayed down to a withered husk, and there's that lightning bolt behind him. But I don't remember the details that actually caused that. I've got it in the other room. I could go grab it and look through it if I wanted to. But,
Yeah, same here. I've got the graphic novel in there. I could flip through, but
but
that's a lot of
effort,
steps away from where I'm at right now, and I'm not. It's just not going to happen.
yeah. So I don't know.
So
At first I was like, okay, this is going to be some sort of deal where there's basically some sort of misunderstanding, and it's going to be a fight between the two. But now it's looking more and more like this whole Superman having an army of his own, and this whole false god thing, and that speech from Alfred about hopelessness making men cruel.
mhm.
I'm just like, okay, so is Superman has he been getting kind of dictatorial, that he's the one in charge and people should do what he says, or
Right. Yeah.
I really don't know.
It's all questions that'll be answered by the movie, I guess. Hopefully.
I guess I have to wait until what is it, March next year, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I
I've
think
got
so.
Age of Ultron in 2 weeks to look forward to, and then Ant-Man after that. Which Ant-Man, I don't care about Ant-Man at all, but the second trailer on that, it's one that a guy at work and I were talking about. It's almost one that you don't want to like it, but it looks fun, and you feel kind of silly thinking it looks fun, but it does look fun. Oh, we may have lost Brian. Headset may have gone out. Batteries may have died. This is when my other co-host needs to start showing up. Well, all right. So I guess I'll just keep continuing on for a little bit until I find out what's happened to. Oh, he just left. I'll have to resend him an invite. He may have disconnected. His internet could have gone out. He has some problems there. I'll send that back. This is the part where we need to build this thing up and have actually more viewers where I could actually see what people are asking, or having people chime in, or bring them on the show. Bring random people on. Oh, well, okay. All right. Well, after Superman and Batman next year, the next movie up I think is X-Men, and latest news on that is Brian's back, but no telling if he can actually hear me or not. Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm back. Holy
Working?
crap. Yeah, my internet just blinked out on me. I have no idea what happened. Apparently, other people in my apartment were able to use it, but I was not. So
The day everything went wrong.
the day everything went wrong, indeed. I can't even fathom what's causing all of these issues today. I would say that, the gods don't want us to broadcast, but how is that even possible? Because we're amazing.
Yeah, I think we've exhausted everything on Batman.
Okay, good. Because
all of 3-minute trailers that they offered us. So
okay, well, I don't know where we left off, honestly, because I was talking and then there was nothing. So
well, the only thing after Batman v Superman, I'm just basically going through the order that things come out and looking at kind of the information that's come out. And after Batman v Superman, well, actually, I guess to backtrack, because right before Batman v Superman comes out is Deadpool.
yep.
And I don't know if there's been any news. Last time we talked about Deadpool, it was he had the Deadpool Dies comic book, reading it sitting on the toilet picture that came out. But I don't think there's been anything new about
Right.
Deadpool since then, has there?
I've not seen anything.
I know there's been a few set photos, and I mean it's just okay. Look, Ryan Reynolds is wearing the suit and he's walking around. Okay, cool. Not a whole lot there.
Yeah, yeah. So no, not yet. I mean, well, I can't remember if the last time we spoke they talked about the villain being part of the Weapon X project as well.
I haven't heard anything about who the villain is for the Deadpool movie.
I believe, if you'll give me just a moment, I'll verify this. But yeah, I believe that they said that it's come out that the villain is going to be someone else from the Weapon X project.
Okay.
Let's see here. Talk. Come on, fill the dead air here. Let's see here. I know I saw something about this. Deadpool movie, he'll be the villain. No. May of 2014. No, I know I saw something about this somewhere. But anyway.
So Mike improved on his punch you in the pancreas. Whenever the button is pushed, there should also be a sound clip of the Falcon punch.
I saw that. Yeah, I do like that idea. So whoever's in charge of those types of things on YouTube with the live streams, just let us know when that's ready to go. Because I'm ready to take that hit in the pancreas at any point. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know where I saw that. Maybe it was in a dream, but I could have sworn that I heard something about that the Deadpool was going to have a villain that's also from Weapon X.
Okay. Well, I mean, it would kind of make sense.
Yeah, but
we officially
it was very vague.
We officially know nothing about Weapon X in the new timeline, so
true.
Fair game. They can do whatever they want.
That's true.
I do what I want.
That's basically what I do. You can ask anybody really that's ever met me. But
I do what I want until the cops show up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then I just sit down and pretend I'm not there.
Hands behind your head. That's all you can do.
No, officer, it wasn't me. It was someone else.
It's totally that other guy over there. Look at him. He's glaring at you over there.
Well, after Batman v Superman is X-Men Apocalypse next year.
That will be good, I hope.
Yeah, I think it will be. It looks like we've got confirmed that I'm still hearing myself a little bit coming back over your speakers, it seems like.
I've got it paused on that other screen.
Yeah, it's when I actually talk. It's not from the video. I don't know. Or maybe your headset's just not enclosed enough that I'm getting a little bit of feedback from it.
That's possible. Here, let me adjust. Anywho, moving on.
X-Men Apocalypse. We know Archangel's coming. Archangel's definitely going to be in it. They've had pictures of him,
right?
Or at least the concept art. So now Singer has confirmed that Havoc will come back. He'll be in it again. From Lucas Till will return from First Class to be in Apocalypse.
Right.
Which I guess kind of fits comic book logic because, he was 16 to 18 or so in First Class in the 60s. And here we are in the 80s, and he's going to look like he's 22, 23.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, again, that's another one of those that I'm like, I'm afraid to speculate.
I've basically given up on any sort of continuity for anything X-Men. Fox doesn't care. Singer doesn't care. Continuity doesn't matter.
Right.
Just go into each movie and watch it as a standalone X-Men film with no continuity from each other and not necessarily concern yourself with the relationship between the characters.
Yeah.
Because they've also announced that so this is the first actual true class of X-Men. We had First Class, but they weren't really X-Men at the time.
So now we've got X guys, really.
Yeah, they were right. Well, technically, you could argue they were G-men because they were just working basically for the government.
Right.
At first, anyway, and then they kind of did their own thing for the Cuban Missile Crisis. But we've got the first actual group of X-Men, and so we've got Quicksilver is going to be back, and we're bringing in newcomers for Storm, Jean Grey, and Cyclops. So we've got the three of them as young, when they first joined the school. But now we're also bringing in Jubilee, who by the old timeline shouldn't be born yet.
Right.
Angel is in it, who by the old timeline shouldn't have been born yet.
Right.
But in this case, both of them were born before the timeline was changed.
Right.
Nightcrawler is going to be in it, and we've also got Psylocke now as well.
So yeah, no, it's maybe they won't try to tie everything back into the comics after the reboot. They're gonna have a hell of a time doing that.
Well, and especially because X-Men doesn't fall into the Marvel comic universe, so
yeah, true.
I really wish Fox would get over their Fox and Marvel apparently have really bad blood between them for some reason, for whatever reason it may be. I understand why Marvel would be kind of frustrated if Fox isn't willing to cooperate with them and work with them on joint project sort of things.
Right.
I don't know what Marvel did that would have pissed off Fox. I'm not going to say that Marvel's innocent of any wrongdoing. They've quite likely done something that squeezed Fox. But I really wish they'd reach some sort of agreement, sort of like what Spider-Man did. So, because apparently Apocalypse is the end of a trilogy. So, you had the original trilogy, that's pretty much mostly erased timeline. The new trilogy is First Class, Days of Future Past, what happened in the 70s, and then the 80s for X-Men Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard rumor that McAvoy and Fassbender's contracts may be running out. We know that Jennifer Lawrence isn't coming back. Holt isn't coming back, so there goes Mystique and Beast.
Right.
The expectation is Cyclops, Storm, and Jean Grey, those new actors will be the new characters to kind of headline it, and then their big star name will be Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Right.
Because X-Men or Wolverine 3 is supposedly the last appearance for Hugh Jackman as well.
Right. Yeah, I'd heard that, and then McKellen and I think we discussed Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are probably not coming back. Yeah,
because they're going to stick with the timeline. I guess after Apocalypse, it would be in the 90s.
Right.
I guess as a period piece. But I wish that they would come up with some sort of agreement that they would make a deal with Marvel, start a hard reboot from scratch, and let Kevin Feige and whoever else at Marvel Studios get involved and do a cooperative film with Fox that just starts over with X-Men and brings them into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
But it won't happen.
One can dream.
It won't happen because the X-Men movies are actually making money.
Yeah. True. Well, one more fumble like X3 and that might not be the case anymore.
Yeah, but First Class, Days of Future Past have both done quite well, so I don't think that they'll have a hard fumble.
Don't jinx it.
But I want them to go back to the MCU, so I do want to jinx it.
Oh. Well, I'm torn there because I don't want another really bad X-Men movie, but I see where you're coming from. You see where I'm a little bit,
Yeah.
Both ways on that.
Yeah, I understand. Well, it just depends on how things play out from here on, I guess.
Right. Let's see. You had mentioned Fantastic Four. I know there was a trailer, and that's about as far as the extent of my knowledge is on that.
Yeah, I watched the new trailer shortly before we had this. Shortly before we started this, or attempted to start this with our technical problem. I'm not thrilled about the movie.
I'm not thrilled about Fantastic Four just in general, but
Yeah, I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan. But I don't know. It's kind of cool that they want to do a sci-fi movie with it. Kind of make it more of a kind of traditional sci-fi vibe to it.
Right.
But at the same time, what I've seen of it doesn't feel like the Fantastic Four. It feels almost like generic sci-fi movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the I'm still caught up on them saying that Doctor Doom is actually no longer that. He's now a guy named Domashev that goes by Doom online. He's an antisocial computer programmer or hacker or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm still kind of on the whole thing with Michael B. Jordan playing Human Torch. On the one hand, I'm like, okay, I guess it doesn't really change anything about his character and his personality. But on the flip side, it's kind of like, okay, but you did this, and then you've got to go and rewrite him and Sue being siblings to that she's adopted.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little part of me that I don't really like the idea of saying, well, we'll just take a white character and make them black so we have more black characters, instead of, why don't we actually go in and find the black characters that exist and bring
Right.
them up, make movies about them, make
Right.
some films? I mean, we've got Black Panther. Black Panther is he's not even a B list. I consider him
No.
C or D list character, but I guarantee you, once his movie comes out, he is going to be mainstream pop culture figures. He's going to be a big deal, just like the Guardians of the Galaxy became a big deal. And that's
Right.
awesome. That's what they need to do. Take those characters that haven't really gotten the attention that they really deserve.
Right.
I mean, I can flip side. I can make the argument that Black Panther is kind of another Batman knockoff, but
Well.
he's got enough uniqueness to him. I mean, there's a little bit of mysticism involved with his thing. There's the whole Wakanda aspect, the tribal background, the fact that he isn't, Batman has to run a company, or pretend he's running a company, but T'Challa's a freaking king. He can't just pretend he's doing it. He runs an entire country. He's
Right.
got the entire country's economy. He's got all that running under him. And it's not like it's not like he's the president and he can expect, secretaries in the House and the Senate. He's a freaking king.
Well,
And
I mean,
so I'm really digging that. As far as the whole, Chris Evans is about to run out of his contract and he wants to go into directing. I know they set up and they've got a long-term contract with the guy that plays Winter Soldier, but at this point, I'd kind of like to see them actually do what you were saying and follow the comics a little bit. I'd kind of like to see the guy that's playing Falcon become Captain America after Chris Evans leaves.
yeah. Falcon. I don't know who that is, unfortunately.
You didn't see Winter Soldier?
No. I'm
So
completely out of the
good.
loop. That's what I've heard,
That
but
one was really good.
I feel like I could almost have skipped the second Thor movie and probably should have seen that one instead, because the second Thor movie was the same as I felt about the first Thor movie. I was like,
Anthony Mackie, that's who plays Falcon. Anthony Mackie. Yeah, Winter Soldier is really good. And I really liked Mackie in there before and after he was Falcon. So I'd actually rather see him become Captain America over Winter Soldier.
Mm.
And Winter Soldier can really carry his own movie as Winter Soldier. He doesn't really need to be Captain America, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I'd kind of like to see Falcon take over the mantle afterwards. But, you've got that. There's a big push saying that Miles Morales should be Spider-Man instead of Peter Parker, and
Right.
I didn't agree with that. But I do think he should become Spider-Man after whoever's playing Peter Parker's contract is up. I think that we should get a Miles Morales as his replacement in the Marvel comic or cinematic universe.
Right.
But the whole thing of just kind of saying, okay, well, we'll just take Human Torch and just cast a black actor so we have a black actor in the role. Now, and to be fair, maybe he was the best actor that auditioned. Maybe all the whiteys suck. Maybe they just didn't do a good job.
It's possible. I believe it.
But there's that. The other thing, I don't think Thing looks all that good.
Mm-hmm.
From what little we've seen of him, and on top of everything else, because I'm gonna throw a shout out to Kevin Smith. Brody would be flipping out over this trailer because I don't see Thing ain't wearing no pants, man. He got no pants, he got no underwear, he got nothing. Dude naked.
Well, some people are into that.
Big naked rock dude walking around.
I mean, really, you can't see. Can you tell for sure that he is naked? Maybe his pants just changed with him.
From the clips that Superhero Hype has up, the 60 screenshots from the trailer, they ain't no pants. Unless his pants are rock and look the same as his body.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, why not? Everything else changes in the, what's his name? Reed Richards created fancy pants for the Hulk. Why couldn't he have created fancy tone changing pants or pants that look like the skin for the Thing? I'm sorry, I'm totally going.
Listen, you're a big rock guy, so I'm gonna make some pants that look like rock.
That's right.
You wear them so it looks like you ain't wearing pants.
That sounds like a great idea. See?
No, it sounds like a horrible idea. But I don't think Thing really looks that good. He looks more like Clayface from the old Batman cartoon than Thing to me. He looks more like he's made of clay than he is of rock.
I like Clayface.
I do too, but he's not the Thing.
It's true. He was played by Ron Perlman, though, and
he's not the blue-eyed, ever-loving Thing.
That's true.
Who is played by Ron Perlman?
Clayface.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Did not realize that.
I'm surprised you did not know that. I finally knew something you didn't know.
Well, looky there. Well, it's DC. I don't know much. I'm not that big on DC.
Just the Batman the Animated Series, really.
Yeah,
as far as my knowledge of DC goes, generally speaking.
You also own them, and I don't. So it's been however many years since they were on TV since I saw it.
Oh, well, I thought you said you owned the first volume.
I do own the first one. Yeah.
All right. Well, Clayface shows up in the first season.
It's been a while since I watched that too. I don't remember how long ago I bought it either.
Well, you can't blame me for you not knowing that.
I do. I hold you personally accountable.
Son of a bitch. Anyway.
Hold on, I'm looking for the pancreas punch button.
There's
Damn button.
You know what? Really stings worse than I expected.
I hate that button.
So that's all I know about Fantastic Four is there was a trailer. Like I said, I haven't even watched it yet. You should you should send me a list next time of things to watch before we do the podcast, just so I'm up to date on everything.
Yeah, I should get on that. And actually, you want me to prepare things, like be ready ahead of time?
This whole thing is your idea. I'm just along for the ride, bro.
Yeah, that's like okay. I guess if it's got my my Twitter name on the show, I should be putting in some extra effort on there, huh?
Or any, really.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. You got me.
It's good though. It's all good.
I also wish
there's
that
only one guy that listens to us, so he's the only one that has to hear the mess that is this podcast so far.
Yeah. Well, there'll be more effort whenever we get our better stuff. What the hell? My Twitter. Shut up.
Twitter.
Shut up, me.
Who's it? Okay.
Shut up, me.
No, you do realize that it works the other way around, right? Like you up the production values and then you get noticed.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying is I'll actually work on promoting this a little bit more once I get the.
Once we can get past technical issues, maybe.
Yeah, so I mentioned last week I got a sound guy that's going to help me kind of get a better setup going here and get some better equipment. But he's on vacation for the whole all of this week and part of the next weekend. So
lame.
Yeah, and he didn't get all this squared away before he left because he's lazy too.
Yeah, well, it seems to happen within our community of geeks and such. Laziness is we're all fans of it, apparently.
That's right. So also, I'm not crazy about Dr. Doom's look in this new one either. He looks a little bit too much like the one from the old Fantastic Four movie for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Again, I think I saw the first one and that was it. And that was
you saw the better of the two, and what does that tell you?
That's what I've heard, yeah. That the second one was even worse is really all that tells me. That I should probably just continue the rest of my life skipping it.
You'd be okay. You'd
I'd be all right
survive.
doing that. Okay.
Um, I actually didn't hate the first one. It had problems, but for its time, I didn't think it was horrible.
It wasn't terrible. I just, again, I never really cared for the Fantastic Four as characters, just in general. So
Yeah, that's
I
a
was
big
like, that's a movie.
factor.
Yeah. I
And
don't
again,
have anything against them. I just, meh, there's nothing really that I never felt like there was anything really to write home about when it came to the Fantastic Four.
well, that's why I wish that they would go back to Fox, or they'd go away from Fox and back to Marvel, get the rights and bring them back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I've really never been a huge Avengers guy, and yet,
Yeah.
come on, the movies are
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well, movie. Well, you have yet to see on the second one if it's good or
Well,
not.
I consider all of them. Iron Man is an Avenger. I never really cared
Right.
that much about Iron Man, but Iron Man was pretty good. I actually liked all three Iron Man movies. I think Iron Man 2 is the weakest of the three. Some people don't like the third one. I think the third one is underrated.
I
Um,
agree with you on that.
I liked the first Thor, and I really don't care about Thor as a character. I agree with you. Thor 2, eh, meh. The
Yeah.
only the only thing that Thor 2 like really had going for it was Thor and Loki working together.
Yeah.
That was the best part of it, really. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, it had tiny little things that were put in there for kind of developing long-term stuff, as far as the essentially the second Infinity Stone
Yeah.
being introduced. But
Right.
yeah, beyond that, it's like, it's Thor. Well, okay. Um, I liked the Incredible Hulk more than a lot of people did. A lot of people consider it kind of a throwaway. It's not that important to watch, but I enjoyed it. I liked it as a standalone film. Um,
Again, another one I haven't seen.
and it's also the one that has Edward Norton, who didn't go on to be Hulk in Avengers.
Yeah.
So there's that little aspect as well. And then Winter Soldier was awesome, and you're a fool for having not seen it. That's all I'm
I
gonna say.
know. We discussed that. I am a fool.
This whole
So
11
speaking of
this whole 11-hour workday thing is really hurting you watching movies that I think you should watch.
right, well, also the fact that it's not on Netflix, but or available in red boxes anywhere that I can find. It's not that I haven't tried. I
It's
just
available at my house.
oh okay. Well,
I
there you
do
go.
have it. I do have it.
Um, speaking of things that were missed by certain people that they really should have watched.
Uh-oh.
Other Space.
Yeah.
Other Space. If you didn't listen last time, or if you don't know anything about this project, Other Space is actually a project that was created by, and I believe directed by as well, Paul Sieg, who I found out recently was actually the creator of Freaks and Geeks, which is a fairly old television series, I think 90s, maybe early 2000s. I'm not certain on that. But it's where James Franco, Seth Rogen, and the guy from How I Met Your Mother. I can't think of his name. The taller guy who's already married to Willow from Buffy. Have you seen that show at all?
Nope.
Okay. So anyway, Jason Segel. That's where the three of those kind of got their start. Like that's really where they kind of started to. Yeah, that's where people originally saw them. Basically, nobody had ever really heard of any of them before. But anyway, it's the same guy that created Other Space. It stars a bunch of no names except for Joel Hodgson, who is the creator of Mystery Science Theater 3000, and his buddy Trace Bulow, I think is how it's pronounced. It's he played the original Crow T robot as well as Dr. Clayton Forrester in Mystery Science Theater 3000. So um, and it's good. It's really, really good. The no names that they found for the roles are perfect for their roles. You got a captain who's somewhat timid, and it's his first outing, and it's great for fans of just kind of not of sci-fi humor, which is a rare breed nowadays. There's not really a whole lot. Sci-fi takes itself very seriously most of the time. So
Yeah, the last sci-fi humor I can think of was more of a spoof in a way, but and it was Galaxy Quest, if you remember that.
I do remember that. There was a British television series that starred Nick Frost from that works with Simon Pegg a lot. Anyway, and it was called Hyperspace. If you get a chance to watch that, you should also check that one out. It's kind of a parody-ish of like Star Trek. Also very good. But that was several years ago that came out as well.
Yeah, that's been
So
a while.
it has. So, but yeah, definitely. It starts off slow. It kind of has to ramp up a little bit. I feel like. I was about 2 or 3 episodes in before I really kind of got it there. That I really started liking it, and then it ends on a high note.
Yeah, it looks like there's only 8 episodes
only 8 episodes
for now, so it's a quick watch.
It is. Look, and they're each they're the episode of an actual television series with an ad. So as if they made room for ads to be put in later. It's like 25, 26 minutes per episode, which I thought was odd, but it I forgot what I was gonna say.
I don't know.
It's fantastic. Oh yeah, it ends on not a cliffhanger, but it definitely leaves it open to more. And I'm hoping that there's going to be more. There's no announcements thus far. They're still waiting to see how it plays out as far as popularity wise. But I know that with Yahoo Screen being, I don't know if it's a new thing or it's been out there for a while and just nobody has ever heard of it until recently. I know that Community and this series were the two that people were talking about the most. And I congratulate Joel Hodgson and Trace Bulow and Paul Sieg. They've done a fantastic job.
It looks like because they apparently Yahoo Screen has a little bit of a partnership. You can watch PS4 videos on Yahoo Screen, but apparently the Xbox One browser can actually bring up and watch things on Yahoo Screen. You should be able to do it on the browsers of PS4 and PS3.
Or PC.
So, well, yeah, but PC, I'm on a small screen, so if I can pop it on the PS4 browser, then I can watch it on my big screen TV and kick back on the couch and eat peanut butter M&Ms.
It's true.
Which I would be eating right now if it wouldn't crunch over the mic.
It would be a little bit annoying. But no, I definitely recommend
it. I'm tempted to do it.
It's 20, we'll say 25-minute episodes, so it's just shy of 4 hours of your time, and it's totally, you'll enjoy every well, not every minute of it, but the majority of the minutes of that, you'll be enjoying it. It's a fun ride, and it was really, really good to see Joel and Trace working together on screen. Although a little spoiler here, it's not gonna be a spoiler for very long once you start watching it. Trace is in fact voice acting again. He's so far not made an appearance in person. So
okay. Is Joel still dry humor in this one, or is he doing a different type of role? Or
nope, still very dry.
Okay.
Feels like it almost feels like this is how Joel ended up after the Satellite of Love in a way.
I was wondering if maybe he threw you for a loop and played a straight man.
No, it's pretty good. It's really good. I'm raving about it here, and this is almost like the Fantastic Four trailer that you were talking about. I feel like I'm the only one talking because I'm the only one that's seen it. But anybody that's listening, and definitely you, Jeff, need to watch it. Spend 4 hours of your time. Don't necessarily need to marathon it, but who am I to judge?
It's the only way I watch things.
Yeah, anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I took off and watched Daredevil for 13 hours straight.
You took a day off of work?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. I was initially considering it, and then I realized that if I did so, it would I had taken 2 days off to do like house-wide spring cleaning from the front to back and vacuuming and just the whole 9 yards, all of it. And then I realized, wait a minute, if I take off for Daredevil as well, that gives me 3 weekends in a row of 3-day weekend, 3-day weekend, 3-day weekend. So, or actually, it was 4-day weekend, regular weekend, and then a 3-day weekend. But it basically came out to a 4-day work week 3 times in a row. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hi, Toby. I don't know if he can hear me or not.
But I have no idea what he's wanting to chime in on. Maybe he's complaining that he didn't get pizza.
Possibly Daredevil. He seems to be showing up around whenever you're talking about Daredevil.
He does like. I guess he likes the Marvel movies. and
Yeah,
the Netflix series now too, I guess.
yeah.
1 out of 1 cats agree.
I actually remembered I was talking to somebody at work about Daredevil, and he's further along than I am, and he's like, "Yeah, like the villain or what? I wasn't sure who it was," and I'm like, "I didn't realize it was Kingpin," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's Fisk from the Spider-Man," and he said, and these are his words, "I never got into Spider-Man because he's kind of a pansy," and I'm like, "Okay, you can go away now."
Wait. Say that again.
He said that he never got into Spider-Man because Spider-Man's kind of a pansy.
So you can
Jeff,
send me this person's information, and I will have to end him.
he's lucky I didn't do it when I was there with him in person. I just told him to go away.
I imagine your brain shut down for a little bit as you sat there and tried to comprehend. No, he didn't say that. So what did he really just say? What did I not hear? He said something.
I'm
I
sorry, I
must
didn't
have.
hear you. I had something in my ear.
I didn't hear you over the stupid.
That's right.
So does he? Are there any superheroes he likes that we can have as like our comparison to Spider-Man here?
I'm trying to remember who he was a fan of. I don't even recall. I know that he liked the Daredevil television series, but I don't know. I'll have to find out. That'll be a little side note for next time.
Yeah,
Who did the guy like?
yeah. Who is apparently so awesome that they make Spider-Man seem like a pansy?
Maybe he's just new to comic book
The
anything.
answer is you're wrong, but
It's true. For those who don't know us, which I think is probably nobody actually listening to this right now.
well, one person.
Well, there's
One
a
person
person listening to.
knows. One person knows me. He doesn't know you necessarily.
Wait, are you listening as well? Are you watching? Are we the only two people watching this?
Mike may still be watching. I don't know. I'm on it now.
Oh, okay. Well, I said two, and anyway, for those of you who may not know, both of us are big fans of Spider-Man, so don't say nothing about the web crawler that's negative because you might end up dead.
Okay, now technically we're making threats over the internet, so
To random people, yeah, probably shouldn't do
yeah,
that.
to random people on the internet.
You
Now,
might you might get a spanking.
as a disclaimer, neither of us have money to go flying around kicking people's butt, a la Jay and Silent Bob.
Unfortunately,
But
yet.
yeah, but if we did, I think on some level that is like everyone's dream, and technically it's better than some things you hear about, or like, yeah, you go to buy something on Craigslist and get shot, or I think I read one a little while ago that some guy was basically supposed to meet a woman on some dating website, and when he met her, she whacked him in the head with a baseball bat.
Maybe
So
she thought he was into that.
this I would think that just being punched in the face or hit with a phone book is really nothing compared to some things you hear. But
That's pretty tame.
I think on some level that's everyone's dream on the internet is to be able to do like that Jay and Silent Bob, where you can go around and find these people that say crap on the internet and just be like, "Are you so and so? Did you say this?"
Is this you?
Of course, my luck would be, the first person I'd find, I'd ring their doorbell, and then they'd open the door and be like, "Oh wow, you're 6'6" and look like you're made of about 345 pounds of pure muscle. Nice to meet you. What can I do for you? Do you need your house cleaned?"
Possibly. Oh man. So, what are you playing, Crow? Jeff, sorry.
I just started. I actually just started, or I guess actually, let me say I finished. So I just finished the Relic quest on Final Fantasy 14. So as far as my personal interests in that MMO, I'm pretty much caught up, done, and don't have too much more I'm really interested in doing before the expansion, which means I've got about 2 months of nothing in that MMO that I need to really dedicate myself to.
Mm-hmm.
So I started Final Fantasy Type 0 HD on PS4 today.
Nice.
A lot of people have been complaining about the blur effect, the motion blur, and yeah, it's pretty bad. So the solution that I found, which I've seen a few comments online when I checked, because I thought about, okay, after I saw it enough, I got to the first save point. I was like, all right, I know there's been some complaints on it. If Square has said something about planning to patch that, where they're going to remove it or improve it or whatever, or let you turn it on or off, then I'll probably shelve the game, wait for that to come out. I didn't see any comment on it, but I did see some comments that basically said, just don't move the camera so much. And I've actually been playing with that in mind. I just basically I move forward. If I turn a completely different direction and need to move the camera, I'll turn it then. But that's the main reason I use it.
Right.
As far as battlefields go, if you stay locked onto a target, it doesn't have any blur effect. So I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to how the controls work enough that the blur effect isn't really bothering me. So far, I kind of like the game. And it's not really that long. I think it's only like 21 hours to finish the main story and 30 hours for a completionist. So, yeah, I'll probably be able to knock that out, move on to something else. I'm hoping I can knock out maybe 3 or 4 games before Final Fantasy expansion comes out.
Nice. Then there's the demo that comes with that too.
Yeah, I've not popped that in. I actually bought the collector's edition and was a little disappointed. The box isn't really designed super smart. On the inside, it's just got one of those little cardboard squares that's supposed to hold something on top of it, and it got damaged. And in result of it being damaged, the manga that comes with it bent in there, so the pages are kind of bent and folded and a little jacked up. And normally I'd just say whatever, I don't care. It's not that big a deal. But the cost that I paid for the collector's edition, I went ahead and I emailed Square to see if there's any way to get like a replacement box and manga. And I don't know if they're going to say I've got to send everything back in order to do that. So I didn't redeem the code for the Final Fantasy 15 demo yet.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Well, sorry to hear about your damaged goods there. I was going to say if you bought it on Amazon, then yeah, they can easily exchange it out, I'm sure. No questions asked. They are very good about that.
But I didn't.
No, because you're a fool, or it was not possible to get it through Amazon, one of the two.
Not possible.
Well, there you go.
Square's gotten pretty common about doing it. It looks like their special editions are only available on their website at first, and then later they will or will not release it on Amazon.
Well, they don't have to.
It looks like it actually is on Amazon now, so I could have waited and gotten it on here. But
question is who's selling it though, because it may not be Square.
Yeah, I have no idea. Price is the actual retail price though, so it's at least not someone doing a secondhand sell sort of thing.
Gotcha. Well,
and free shipping.
Yeah, if you have Prime. Or actually, you can get free shipping even without Prime if you are willing to wait long enough for it.
Yeah, this one just has it.
And you pay enough.
This one has it as a default.
Gotcha. Well, I am playing Chain Chronicle on my phone. It's a tower defense-y type game. I don't know. It's something I do when I'm like bored and nothing else going on, or to help me get to sleep. So that should tell you it's not the most exciting game in the world, but it's fun. It's Sega. I don't know. Also have been playing South Park and the Stick of Truth still a little bit. I think I may have been playing that last week as well. So
yep.
I've been playing that for a little bit. Did buy the most recent Humble Bundle, which is an Origin Humble Bundle. So you have the first 2 Dragon Age games, which I played the first one, but it'll be good to be able to play the second one before I even attempt Inquisition. They will be adding more to that bundle as of right now. They're going to be adding another game on Tuesday, which will be the 21st, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, 21st. So that's good. And I like the Humble Bundle stuff. This isn't the first time I bought something through them. I actually bought one that was a Star Wars Humble Bundle. I think it was like 7 or 8 of the older Star Wars games, and it's for a good cause. So
cool.
But looking forward to that.
So apparently, your Chain Chronicle is a rather popular mobile game in Japan, and it will be getting the characters from Log Horizon. Will be getting added into there.
From what now? I'm sorry.
The anime Log Horizon.
I don't know what that is.
You are a fool.
Log, like
Yes.
like like log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood.
Spelled the same, yes, but more like log as in recording.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, like recording what's over the horizon is kind of the idea about it. But no,
That's
it's a very very good anime, based off, as many of them are, based off a series of light novels. I'm surprised they haven't talked about this yet because I've watched the first season like a gajillion times.
right.
Um, Basically, and it's kind of becoming an anime genre of itself. The people trapped in an MMO sort of thing.
Yep.
And Sword Art Online came. Well, I guess the first one was really Dot
Dot
Hack,
hack. Yeah.
and then Sword Art Online is the next one that I was aware of that got really big. Um, there's a big divide. Some people love Sword Art Online. Some people hate it. I'm kind of in the camp of I like the first half of it, but it's kind of popcorn anime. It's more action. It's just the main character. At first, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then after you get a little bit further, I started thinking, I hate this main character. He's just like, he's got the answer to everything, and he's just good at everything, and it's too convenient. He's just a Mary Sue sort of character. Um, but yeah, so the second half of the first season of Sword Art Online pissed me off. But Sword Art Online is basically uh, all these players log into an MMO, and then the creator of the MMO basically says, "Oh, by the way, what everyone doesn't know is there's coding in this. You can't actually log out. If anyone turns off your headset at your home, you'll automatically die. And if you die in the game, the system will send a signal and fry your brain, and you'll die in the real world too."
Yeah. I've seen a couple of episodes of it.
So that's the Sword Art Online. So Log Horizon is kind of a similar thing, but not. It's the same thing. An expansion came out, and they log it in, or they log into the expansion, and then the first thing they know is they're all actually in the game. But the big difference in this is it's not virtual reality. They actually show some scenes of it, and it actually looks like the old. Do you remember Ragnarok Online?
Vaguely. Yeah.
That kind of isometric view, and the graphics are really like pixelated, blocky. Maybe the sprite based PlayStation era is like not the polygon, but sprite based.
Right.
They've shown images of the game, and that's what it looks like. But when they log into the expansion, suddenly they're in it like it's reality. And the big difference is it's like they've really legitimately been teleported to another reality. So
Nice.
they don't know where they are. They don't know what's going on back home. They don't know if they've just disappeared. They don't know if people are looking for them. And rather than this big whole, okay, we've got to get home, we've got to get home, we've got to get home, it becomes how do we live in this new world and build a new society and deal with the fact that this isn't a video game anymore, but
Yeah.
there's still things that are a video game about it. And they actually mention a few times that the laws of physics in this world, everything seems like it should be until you get to a certain thing, and then suddenly it makes no sense. Um, so like they don't necessarily need to eat, but they do still get hungry. But for the longest time, they basically just have to eat mush that's covered in salt because it has no flavor, and they can't cook anything
Mm-hmm.
because anything they try to cook turns into black mush. Until later on, they meet up with a character that's a guy that they knew, or one of them knew beforehand, and he's grilling meats and steaks and all this stuff on the grill outside, and because his subclass was chef. So you've got to actually have the subclass and have leveled it up high enough to be able to actually cook food that tastes like anything.
Yeah.
They run into things of they've got people that are exploiting new players by trapping them and basically forcing them into slavery for all intents and purposes. They basically form a round table. How can we basically form laws, because it's a lawless world. How
Right.
can we actually make people not treat each other like this? The main character is he's like kind of your hero, but at the same time, everyone calls him a villain because he has very nefarious, scheming ways of getting what he wants. He kind of does. I mean, it's kind of for the greater good, but at the same time, it's like, okay, the solution to this is we hold everyone hostage and threaten them that if they aren't good, then they'll be cast out and they'll be screwed. And
Nice.
everyone else is kind of like, so you just kind of decide that? It's like, well, yeah, I put in the effort and did this without anyone knowing, so what are you going to do about it?
Right.
But yeah, they do a whole lot of world building. Like they go so far as to explain where money comes from in MMOs. Because monsters die and respawn, they've got money on them. Where does that money come from?
Right.
They talk about that. They talk about there's a little bit of economy. There's a lot of world building. They're just now at the end of season 2 starting to look at the possibility of how can we get back home. And even that one they even threw that on its head with I'll spoil it because it's not a major thing, but they threw that on its head rather than saying how can we get back home. Like they kind of basically say, yeah, we're trying to figure out how to get back home, and the girl they're talking to across this long communication that they know says, I don't want to get back home. I want to, and basically they're like, but she's been talking about she's got a daughter. Don't you want to go home and see your daughter? And her answer is, no, I want to bring my daughter here. I want her to see this world. I want her to see all the amazing things there are. And so it becomes yeah, why should we try to go back home? Why can't we figure out a way to go back and forth between the two worlds? And
That sounds like more fun to me. Just having a bad day, I'm gonna go to the other world. Thanks.
Yeah, where I am immortal and can't actually die. But there's also a flip side of that. At first, there was like, when you die, you respawn at the cathedral, so who cares, whatever. But then they start to realize that each time you die, to respawn, you have to give up something, and you have to give up memories of the real world. So, in theory, eventually one of them says he swears he used to have a cat, but he can't remember its name and he can't remember what it looked like. So bit by bit, they start to lose memories of who they once were and what their life was like. So they've kind of done some stuff like that. It's really interesting. The first season's really good. The second season feels like there's a lot of filler involved, but a lot of it feels like they're probably planting seeds for plot points that are going to come up later on.
Right.
The downside is season 2 actually got to the point that the light novels are at right now.
So we've run into a Game of Thrones situation,
Yeah,
or Dragon Ball Z as a worse example of that.
Yeah, so there's no word on if there is a season 3 planned. At one point, I had read that the creator of the light novels was actually planning on giving the outline of his notes and everything for what he was planning to the animation studios to work on, and they may actually just carry on with the plot as he had kind of laid it out rather than him doing the light novels.
Right.
So we'll kind of wait and see. But anyway, the point is the characters from that anime, which is really good, and you should see it if I ever get it. I'll let you borrow it. But right now it's 2 different Blu-rays and they're like $40 each. So half a season for $40 is a bit much for me.
That is, yeah. That's, let me guess, Funimation?
No, actually, it's I think someone else. I don't remember who it is.
That's surprising because they do tend to split seasons over there quite a bit.
It might be Aniplex.
Okay.
Aniplex has been really bad about insanely high priced Blu-rays. And it's definitely one I've heard a little bit of it in English. I do not recommend the dub. Don't go anywhere near the dub.
I generally don't.
On the flip side, though, I've heard people that say it's actually fun to watch the dub a couple times. Watch it once to like let it kind of brainwash you, and then watch it again. And it's like 2 different versions of the same story. The characters' personalities are sort of different in each version, but both of them work in their own way. And so it's kind of fun to watch both of them, according to some people.
Oh yeah, I would assume that a series that I watch called Azumanga Daioh is the same way, because like especially there's one character in that, if you've never seen it, it's just about a bunch of schoolgirls basically, and it's comedy.
I have the manga, and I think I've seen all the anime.
Yeah, but yeah, they have the one character that's portrayed in the American version as like kind of southerny, almost. I don't want to say hick, but yeah, Osaka, which
from Osaka, and so yeah, she's got the southern accent sort of thing.
Right. But I'm sure that in the Japanese it probably translates a little bit differently, so it'd be interesting to watch that with subtitles.
Sentai Filmworks are the ones who license it, partnered with ADV Films.
ADV? I thought they were gone.
Sentai Filmworks was partnered with ADV Films in 2008. But Sentai Filmworks are the ones who are doing the American release apparently.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So yeah, ADV's been defunct now for a while, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. If you're also looking for another game on mobile device, if you want to play something other than Chain Chronicle at some point, I've been told that Final Fantasy Record Keeper is pretty good. It is a little bit of a, oh, you've run out of energy, so you need to pay money for more, or you can just wait until tomorrow and do it again later. But apparently, it's supposed to be pretty fun. It's a couple of people I know have been playing it almost addictively. But neither of them have. Well, one of them I think has spent a little money. The other has spent zero whatsoever. But basically the premise is you're a painting restoration expert, and you're restoring paintings that are about the different tales from Final Fantasy. So basically, you play through different key things in Final Fantasy, like fighting up the Shinra Tower.
Yeah.
But you get to choose different characters. So it's like Cloud Titus from Final Fantasy X, White Mage from Final Fantasy 1, and whoever else you have for your party, and you fight through it. But you've got to do different things, and I think you have to basically get random items and then craft armor and weapons and spells.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not 100% sure on it because I've not tried it out. I'm not real big on phone games.
Mm-hmm.
But two people I know say it's pretty fun. They seem to be really liking it, so you might check it out.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, definitely. I know that. Yeah, it seems silly, but I own and play Theater Rhythm, Curtain Call, the second Theater Rhythm game, and it's a lot of fun actually.
I have both of them on 3DS, but I don't have a 3DS.
Wait, what?
I picked up the Curtain Call because I got the limited edition that Square had. That was, if you pre-ordered, I think it comes with like an actual CD of some of the music.
Okay.
And then I picked up the first one just because it was used in. I found it used in a GameStop, and I was like, "Wow, I haven't seen this anywhere," so I snagged it. But I don't have a 3DS yet. But I planned this year to pick up a Wii U and a new 3DS at the same time. So
How many 3DS games do you own without the console to play them? I have to know.
I have those two, Star Fox 3D, and I think one other.
Okay, well that's not too bad.
So I've got 4 3DS games. I have more DS games, but that's because it's like, you want me to pay how much for all these at a garage sale?
Right.
Sure, I'll buy those, sell 3 of them on eBay, and have made my money back, and the rest of them I'll keep. Thanks.
Right. That's funny. I just that just struck me as amusing that you're like, yeah, I have that game. I can't actually play it.
Yeah.
It's
well, on the flip side, I bought a 3DS on Amazon when it was on sale. So I was like, okay, got a 3DS, great deal. Oh, you're releasing a new 3DS in like 6 to 8 months. Okay, so around Christmas time, I put the one I had unopened on eBay and sold it for retail price, which means I got a little bit because I bought it on sale. And I was like, okay, well, I'll hold off on that, and I'll get the new one when it comes out, and then I'll dive in and play.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd like to get a new 3DS. I don't know. We probably talked about this. The face follow feature is really, in my mind, almost worth buying a new one.
Yeah, a friend of mine has said it's really impressive. They've been really enjoying it. They've been playing Fantasy Life, and I think Monster Hunter was the other one that they were playing, and Theater Rhythm.
Okay. Theater is fun. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a rhythm game, obviously. I mean, but
which we're coming up on the end of our time. I planned 8 to 10, so we can kind of wrap this up. But let's touch on another rhythm game.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's coming out. It's
the war has renewed. Guitar Hero and Rock Band 4 are both coming out again.
Yeah, Rock Band. That's not what they're calling it though. They're calling it something else. I can't remember.
No, Rock Band is Rock Band 4.
No, I thought that there was another.
Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of, was Guitar Hero Live. Yeah, that's. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I owned the first Rock Band. I have Rock Band 2. I've owned all 3 of them actually, 1, 2, and 3. I just don't actually have the discs for 1 and 2 any longer because they let you go ahead and put all those songs into one. There was no point in keeping that disc.
Yeah.
I do own the Beatles Rock Band as well, being a fan of the Beatles. But
Mhm.
so I've owned 4 of the, what are there, 6 that came out? Let's see,
That-
2, the Beatles, Lego, Green Day, and 3. So 7 maybe.
yeah.
I'm missing Lego and Green Day.
Yeah, I've got those are the same ones I've got. I had Rock Band 1 and 2. I did the same thing, paid the money to bundle them into the DLC to roll over in Rock Band 3. Um, and that is the reason I think Rock Band 4 is going to be superior to Guitar Hero Live.
Right.
Have you kept up with anything on Rock Band 4?
I've not, but I'm assuming that they're gonna let you move the stuff forward like you had before. I hope.
All of your DLC will work on Rock Band 4 at no cost.
But the question though, well, I guess if you, I'm curious about the songs from like the first 3 games because they're not really DLC. Like,
Yeah, I think they said that the disc-based things won't roll over, but I do wonder if that includes the bundle DLC of rolling over 2 into 3 or not. So we'll kind of
right.
see about that. But at the very least, all of the actual normal DLC is going to be rolled over to play on 4 for free. The bigger thing to me though is if you've still got your instruments from Rock Band 3, they are working on making those actually usable, so you don't have to buy new instruments.
Yeah, I actually do. I have a couple of microphones and a couple of guitars. We owned a drum set at one point, but since I live on the 3rd floor in an apartment building, we had to get rid of that. After a very large man came knocking on our door and telling us that we needed to shut the hell up because we were waking or keeping his kids awake. So
and you
got rid of those, but
you weren't willing to say it's just rock and roll, man.
no, I was not. I did tell him he needed to back up a little bit because he was getting in my face and he had some onion breath going on, but that's as far as I went with that.
Nice. So, and then on the Guitar Hero side, I watched the unveiling. I don't care for it. I mean, it's all in first person, and it's like basically it's all from first person view, and it's all live people on the stage and out in the crowd that you're looking at, that your character looks around at as you're playing. And I don't know. I don't see it as being that big of a deal to me. That I'm like, okay, the live and all that. I'm more interested in my expansive library rolling over for free, and I don't have to buy new instruments. Whereas Guitar Hero, you will have to buy new instruments, and they've changed their guitar, so you'll actually have to relearn your muscle memory.
Yeah. Well, they Activision, so far as the Guitar Hero series goes, like once Activision took over entirely by themselves, it's kind of just, in my mind at least, gone downhill. I just,
Well, it's
I don't
been
know.
gone for a long time too. I think they stopped before Rock Band did, didn't they?
I'm looking into that right now. It looks like,
I
well,
think
the
it was.
Wikipedia page says the last title in the series was a DJ Hero, but I don't know that I would consider those.
Yeah, the company that did DJ Hero are the ones doing Guitar Hero Live.
Okay. But I don't think DJ Hero should be considered part of the
Guitar Hero,
Guitar
yeah.
Hero. Let's see, it looks like Warriors of Rock was the last game in the console series, came out in September of 2010. I don't recall when when Rock Band 3 came out, or the last Rock Band game, I should say. If the sounds of research on Wikipedia for those of our listeners
Click, click, click,
wondering
click.
what's going on, it's good. Looks like the last game. Let me know if you get to it before I do.
Oh,
Let's see.
I'm
Oh,
not.
this is not the game series. Oh, for the franchise. That's what I'm looking for. The franchise. What are you doing over there?
I'm just checking Twitter while you do research.
Oh, well, that's not as exciting. So you're basically letting me talk out loud to myself.
Yes.
Ah, well.
Hey, you're talking out loud to one viewer.
Oh, hey, guy. What's going on?
And now it says 0 viewers.
Oh, harsh.
Oh, wait. This is one viewer, so whoever
Okay.
it was or was not may be back. Or we've just got faulty equipment telling us that someone's there and they're not. One of the
Hey,
two.
guy or lady. Sorry if I offended you.
Yeah, Either way, I mean, I'm pretty sure I remember Guitar Hero basically, said that they were done before they had wrapped it up.
Let's see. It's like Green Day Rock Band was June 2010. So yeah, briefly before Rock Band, I think, because that one came out in October 2010. So they both, like, their last games were in 2010 for both series, it seems.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And then Rock Band released their final DLC, I believe it was in 2013. The last song being American Pie.
Right.
Although they've apparently released some new DLC for Rock Band 3 actually this year. So I guess they're kind of putting out some DLC in advance before the game is out. The other thing I thought was really cool is Harmonix has actually got a website up where you can go and put in a song and an artist that you want to request to be on Rock Band 4 or be DLC for it. They've also both said that basically there'll be Rock Band 4 and Guitar Hero Live, and that's it. There will not be another game in either series for the rest of this console generation. There will only be DLC for them.
Rock Band 4 is coming out on PS3?
PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
I don't know where I got PS3. I wish it was, because all my games or all my songs are on my PS3.
But again, if that's what I guess, if you're just talking about the disc base, then we may be wrong there. But other than that, all your PS3 songs will be playable on PS4.
Nice.
For free,
I hope they allow the disc-based stuff to be moved forward. I mean, there's got to be some way to prove it, and if not, honestly, how expensive is it to buy the discs for the first 3 games at this point? Probably not very. If they need you to have a disc to be able to, play those songs, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're following me there, I mean, what are you gonna pay, like $5-10 a disc?
Right.
Worth it. Looking at the Rock Band 3 description, there were 83 songs in that one alone. So just on the disc. So
I'm trying to see if there's anything about it.
About what?
About the like I said, I know that they've said that the DLC will roll over, but I'm trying to see if I can find anything that's a bit more specific about the actual discs. Although players will be able to draw from the 2,000 plus songs available as downloadable content in the Rock Band Music Store.
Yeah, I think we're gonna
re-download any previously purchased DLC from the Rock Band DLC libraries at no additional cost. But there's an asterisk. Number of songs available as DLC at launch is to be determined and may be subject to change. Previously purchased DLC will be available for re-download and use in Rock Band 4 only after DLC is released on next-gen consoles. So there may be a little work. Now it could also be a thing that if you did download the transfer pack, maybe they'll have something coded in there where, a third of them or 2/3 of the songs they were able to get the rights to continue to do as DLC, and so you'll be able to get those included for free or something. Maybe they can work something out like that.
Yeah, hopefully. I guess we'll find out. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of music on there that I really like. There are a lot of songs that I played in the Rock Band series that I really enjoyed even before they started doing the DLC, or before they started putting some more stuff out there for DLC. So I hope they can figure something out. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. We always had fun with those as a party game, so I'm actually interested in them coming back.
I don't know. Maybe I can actually see some of my friends in real life again.
I don't know. If you're working 11 hours, that's...
Hopefully that won't last too much terribly longer. Well, it is 9:59.
There you go.
We have had a great time, but it looks like we're going to have to wrap this party up, my friend.
Well, that's what you say.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to wrap this party up because I got to be at work in just over 8 hours. So
I can sit here and continue to deny Toby dinner and get him to start talking in your place.
It'd probably be a lot more entertaining.
Depends. I have been able to get him on conversations before, but sometimes he just stares.
He's a cat. He do what he won't.
That's right. I do what I want. It is funny when you can get them to actually keep going back and forth over and over, where you just say random things to them and they'll meow back, and you say something random and they'll meow back, and if you can just keep them going, I don't know what they think the conversation is, but it amuses me.
That's probably all that they're saying is, God, this is really funny to you, isn't it? You're having a lot of fun with this.
You are really stupid.
Pretty much. All right, so one guy or lady who is listening to us, thanks very much for joining us. And I'm Brian at Servo1999 on Twitter.
And I'm Jeff at Swift NinjaFox on Twitter.
And everybody have a great night or, great day or morning, whenever you're listening to this. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks. Talk to you next week.
All right. See ya.
Bye.